تصل إلى كل من المراكز الحضرية والمناطق الريفية لتضمن شراكتك مع آي راديو الرؤية عبر منطقة جغرافية واسعة.
ما تفوت فرصة توسيع نطاق رسالتك باستخدام آي راديو. شارك أو أعلن معنا الليلة وخلي صوتك مسموع في جميع أنحاء جنوب السودان.
Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. President Salva Kiir has dismissed several senior officials, including Vice President Dr. Benjamin Bolmeld, Central Bank Governor Addis Ababa Otho, and Commissioner General of the South Sudan Revenue Authority, Simon Akwe. The Embassy of South Sudan in Nairobi, Kenya has announced it will resume operations today following what it describes as a brief interruption due to internal administrative arrangements. And the United Nations Development Programme says more than 60 inmates have been released on bail from nearly 130 cases handled by a mobile court recently deployed by the government and its partners at Juba Central Prison. These stories and more coming to in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. President Salva Kiir has dismissed several senior officials, including Vice President Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, Central Bank Governor Addis Ababa Otho, and Commissioner General of the South Sudan Revenue Authority, Simon Akwe. According to presidential decrees read on South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation on Wednesday evening, Dr. Bolmel has been relieved of his duties as Vice President, stripped of his rank in the National Security Service, demoted from general to private, and removed from his position as First Deputy Chairperson of the ruling party SPLM. The statement signed by Press Secretary Oiti Johannes Akola Jawin described the circulating claims earlier as unfounded rumors and affirmed that Dr. Bolmel was actively performing his duties in line with President Kiir's vision for peace and national development. That was earlier on Wednesday. The office of the Vice President released a statement denying widespread rumors of Bolmel's impending removal. Just hours before the decrees were announced, Dr. Bolmel met with Somali Ambassador Jamal Hassan Khalif in Juba to discuss strengthening bilateral and economic ties between South Sudan and Somalia. The talks reportedly focused on trade, infrastructure, and investment cooperation. The decrees also announced the removal of Professor Paul Ogali as SPLM Secretary General, replacing him with Akwal Paul Kordit. Kiir also replaced Addis Ababa with Yeni Samuel Costa as the new Bank of South Sudan governor. The Embassy of South Sudan in Nairobi has announced it will resume operations today following what it described as a brief interruption due to internal administrative arrangements. In a statement seen by iRadio yesterday, the embassy said its service had been temporarily affected but thanked stakeholders for cooperation in resolving the issue. It said the interruption arose from administrative adjustments which have now been fully addressed through constructive engagement with all relevant authorities. The statement comes days after unverified reports claim that the mission's premises were shut down by its Kenyan landlord over unpaid rent. The embassy said the reports were not accurate and clarified that the disruption stemmed only from internal administrative matters. The mission apologized for any inconveniences caused and reassured South Sudanese students, business people, travelers, and diaspora members that it remains fully committed to facilitating diplomatic, consular, and community engagements without further disruption. It further said its renewed operations will focus on serving the interest and welfare of South Sudanese citizens in Kenya. The United Nations Development Programme says more than 60 inmates have been released on bail from nearly 130 cases handled by a mobile court recently deployed by the government and its partners at Juba Central Prison. In a press statement seen by iRadio yesterday, the UN agency said the court handled 129 cases, including 60 trials for survivors over a 40-day period since it was established by the judiciary of South Sudan. According to UNDP, the court was set up at Juba Central Prison to tackle barriers such as case delays, stigma, and limited access to justice. With support from the Kingdom of the Netherlands and other partners, the court secured the release of 62 inmates on bail, helped prompting reduced congestion at Juba National Prison and improved detainee conditions. UNDP added that the court provides a dedicated and accessible platform for the prompt, fair and sensitive handling of gender-based violence cases. This is iRadio News, and now to the international scene. At least 6 people have died during a crowd crash at a military recruitment event in a stadium in Ghana. Ghana's armed forces said in a statement that the Wednesday's tragic crash appeared to have been caused by an unexpected surge of applicants who breached security protocols and rushed into the gates. 22 others were injured, including 5 who remained in critical condition. Thousands had turned up to El Wak Stadium in the capital Accra with the hope of joining the military. Ghana has a youth unemployment rate of about 32%, the latest government statistics show, and such recruitment events normally draw large crowds and often result in chaotic scenes. And South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa says boycott politics doesn't work as he hit back at US President Donald Trump's decision to skip the G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg later this month. Trump has said that no US official would attend the gathering over widely discredited claims that white people are being persecuted in South Africa. Speaking outside Parliament, Ramaphosa said the US absence is their loss and that the boycott would not prevent the meeting from going ahead. He added that the US was giving up the very important role that they should be playing as the biggest economy in the world. This is our Radio Morning News, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. President Salva Kiir has dismissed several senior officials, including Vice President Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, Central Bank Governor Addis Ababa Otho, and Commissioner General of the South Sudan Revenue Authority Simon Akwe. The Embassy of South Sudan in Nairobi has announced it will resume operations today following what it described as a brief interruption due to internal administrative arrangements. And the United Nations Development Programme says more than 60 inmates have been released on bail from nearly 130 cases handled by a mobile court recently deployed by the government and its partners at Juba Central Prison. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there's a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page iRadio, subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 8 o'clock and Lasuba Memo. Thank you for listening.